It's really organized around 5 big areas or topics: news and politics, education, work, wellness, and fashion. Magazines and zines really influenced the design here. It is a powerful, colorful, joyful, buoyant, resilient set of images led by the voices of girls. Girls have always had a voice, and I think that's going to be surprising for many people.
They are so critical to the entire span of U.S. history, but rarely receive the attention they deserve. Good evening and buenos noches. I'm Anthea Hartig, the Elizabeth Macmillan Director of the National Museum of American History at your Smithsonian Institution. I'm here in Washington, D.C. at the museum on the ancestral lands shared by the Piscataway and the Natchitoches tribes. Wherever you are in the nation and around the world, remember the first peoples of your place and give gratitude for the honor of being here. It's such a pleasure to welcome you to the virtual opening of Girlhood, It's Complicated. It's my pleasure to be with you all this evening as your hostess of our virtual celebration. Girlhood, It's Complicated is a landmark exhibition commemorating the centennial of the 19th Amendment and women's suffrage movement. With this exhibition, we explore and question the concept of girlhood itself and what it means to grow up female in the United States. Like the women who fought for suffrage, girls have taken great risks to push against discrimination and make claims of their own. We're delighted to share their stories. We have quite an amazing program lined up for you, including shout outs from some recognizable friends and influential change makers and some very special guests. But we're thrilled to kick things off with a message of girls making change in their own communities. The Smithsonian affiliations across the nation have engaged girls to share messages for us. We ask them questions about what leaders should know about girls. So together with the Smithsonian Institution Traveling Exhibition Services, they're coordinating nationwide a tour of the Girlhood exhibition. It'll begin in 2023, so be sure to keep an eye out in your community for when Girlhood, It's Complicated comes to you. It's an honor to be able to share these messages from girls across the country, starting with the Arab American National Museum, the Museum of Flight, the Pinhead Institute, and from my hometown of Alta Loma, California, the Sam and Alfreda Malou Foundation. Let's hear from them, and thanks so much for joining us.
What should leaders know about girls? First of all, we are strong, and we are not afraid to speak our mind about injustices that we face in our everyday life. Second of all, we love and support all colors, sizes, beliefs, and genders. Third, we wish to build a better community to raise the future generations in. And lastly, we love each other and ourselves, always working to build each other up and trying not to break each other down.
What do leaders need to know about girls today? Girls have and always will be disproving the idea of what a girl is and what a girl isn't in hopes that future generations will feel both more comfortable and confident in themselves and the future they live in.
What do leaders need to know about girls today? Leaders need to know that girls today are capable, motivated, and strong, and willing to take every opportunity that comes their way. Leaders need to know that millions of girls out there are just waiting for an opportunity to show how amazing they are, from anything in STEM, to arts, to writing, and everywhere in between.
Hi, my name is Amisha Chungin, and I'm a middle schooler from Seattle. I am part of the Museum of Flight community. Leaders need to know that girls are sugar and spice and everything in between. We are sweet and sassy too. We are those who came before us, and we are like no one you've ever seen. Girls are pilots, astronauts, engineers, creators, problem solvers, artists, and inventors. We are dreamers and down to earth. We are fearless thinkers, passionate advocates, teachers, and teammates. We have learned from the past and are ready to be the leaders of tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Danelle Harajli, and I'm extremely proud to be the daughter of 2 Arab Muslim immigrant parents. As a teenager of color, it is so important to see representation in today's society. My mom fled her country because of war and grew up to be the chief operating officer at a nonprofit organization that helps people in need each and every day. I would love to see more women of color in leadership roles and hope to see our worlds come together to shine a light on the voices that so deserve to be heard.
Hi, I'm Eileen from the Salmon of Freedom Elite Foundation for Arts and Crafts, and what leaders should know about girls today is that they can be very strong leaders despite female expectations of more submissive roles, and that could limit young girls from wanting to take on leadership roles. However, there are a lot of strong female leaders in my life and outside of my life who inspire me and other young girls and pave the way for us. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Zara, and I am half Muslim, half Christian, which means I'm a Muslim. Now, I'd like the leaders to know that when I grow up, I'm gonna be a singer, a marine biologist, and I'm gonna end racism. I'd like the leaders to know about the girls, that girls have the power to do anything and be anything. We can work together. Even if we're enemies, we'll make up and we will be stronger together. So watch out, world, there's gonna be some changes.
Okay, we're talking about girlhood and young girls and daughters, and we know we were raised by strong women. Your mom, Nancy, is like rock solid. My mom, Sammy, is rock solid. And I feel like we kind of emulate. Like we know they can do it, we can do it. And now we got our girls, and we've got to sort of pave the way for them.
Yes, it's so interesting because girls, in some ways, so much has changed, but in a lot of ways, they're facing the same pressures that we felt and we faced. I always feel like I'm trying to be a combination of the mother I had and the mother I wished I had. Yeah. So I want to be as tough and strong as my mom was, but I also want to be maybe a little bit softer and let my daughter be vulnerable if she needs to be.
Yeah, and I feel like they're always watching us. So there's a part of me that wants to always be good and right. And what I think we have to realize too is when we're messing up, when we're screwing up, which I feel like I do a lot, just to sort of face up to it, admit it, have a conversation about it. Because at the end, I think we just want our girls to be happy. Like, who cares about anything else? Like, if they're happy and they find what they're meant to do, we did our job.
It's true, and it's a good discipline because you can't act like you got it all together. You kind of have to have it all together, or at least do your best so that what your daughter sees is authentic and real, because I think, they don't listen to what we say, they watch what we do.
And I should point out that whenever Savannah gives Vela advice, I steal it and give it to Haley. So there's that.
And vice versa.
Oh, my wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us tonight. After a long hiatus due to the global pandemic, we're delighted to safely reopen our doors to you, and Girlhood will open tomorrow. In the meantime, however, I'm thrilled to give you a virtual tour. Before I take you back into the exhibition, it is an honor and a privilege to introduce you to the 14th Secretary of the Smithsonian Institution and our dear friend, Dr. Lonnie G. Bunch III. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for joining us tonight.
Welcome to Girlhood. It's complicated. I'd like to start by thanking you, Anthea, for your leadership throughout this difficult year. Even while this building was closed to the public, the National Museum of American History continued to serve through virtual exhibitions, programming, and educational opportunities. And today, I'm thrilled that this exhibition will launch in the newly reopened building. The National Museum of American History is close to my heart. It's where I had some of the most formative experiences in my career, like helping to acquire the Woolworth's lunch counter that sparked the civil rights movement. It's where I began to explore how history can be of direct use to the American public, helping us understand our present moment and grapple with the challenges that we face today. And that's where I saw countless examples of strong women throughout our history who shaped our national narrative. In a life spent studying history, again and again, I have been amazed by the girls' power to shake the foundations of this country. And as a proud parent of 2 daughters, and now having a granddaughter, I know how inexorably and fierce this power is. Heaven help whoever gets in their way. Girlhood explores what it means to grow up female in the United States. The challenges, the strength, and yes, the complexity. At every juncture in our nation's history, girls have stood tall, sat in, and spoken out. And through this exhibition, that's exactly what the Smithsonian hopes to continue to inspire. Thank you all for joining us to mark this very special occasion. And thank you to the American Women's History Initiative for your work year-round to increase the representation of women's voices across the Smithsonian. And as a former curator, let me offer my congratulations to all the curators, the specialists, and the entire team who worked to make this exhibition possible. You continue to make us proud at the Smithsonian. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, Secretary Bunch, and welcome back, everyone. This exhibition is designed intentionally like a zine, a mashup of topics and girls' voices over time. Here we are in the news and politics section of the show. Because girlhood is political and because girls, past and present, have pushed back against expectations and spoken their minds, we start by unpacking just what makes girlhood political with a short video featuring our dear colleague, Dr. Mireya Loza, a curator on the show. Mireya, could you tell us just a little bit about this film?
Thanks, Anthea. When we first started thinking about the history of girls in America, I thought back on my own girlhood, on the people and the place I grew up in, and how that came to shape the way I see the world. When I think about what it means to be a girl today, I think about girls like Naomi Wadler. I think about how she connects to girls on the front line of change across time and geography, and how she reminds us that girls have always been working to build a more just tomorrow.
Thank you, Mireya. Now, I'd like to introduce a donor and a very special friend of the Smithsonian Institution, Jean Case, who along with David M. Rubenstein is the co-chair of the Smithsonian Institution's American Women's History Initiative. Jean is able to join us this evening with a very special message, and we're so grateful for her activism and her care given to this initiative.
Hello, I'm Jean Case, co-chair of the Advisory Committee for the Smithsonian's American Women's History Initiative. And on behalf of the entire committee, it's my delight to warmly welcome you to this opening of a new exhibit, Girlhood, It's Complicated. This exhibit is a great example of the leadership and the commitment of the Smithsonian to find and to spotlight great achievements of women in our nation since its founding. As part of this important initiative, the Smithsonian is opening up the archives and looking across all 19 museums to ensure that the contributions of women across various fields are appropriately documented and recognized. I want to say a special word of thanks to you for taking the time to be with us today. We hope you'll feel the excitement of this work and join us by spreading the word and sharing your own stories of remarkable American women.
A big thank you to both Jean and David for their wonderful support of this important exhibition. Next up, another amazing friend sharing with us her story about being a girl and how complicated it can be.
To be a girl in America right now, especially a woman of color, it's hard to keep going with your dreams and aspirations when there's so much systemic injustice and a global pandemic ongoing. But it's also an incredible opportunity to be able to mobilize not only your local community, but also your state, national, and international community around a cause that you're incredibly passionate about. Never before have we all been connected under a shared set of experiences. To keep my sense of inspiration, I think about all the positive change that we can make in the fields that we're passionate about. Personally, I'm working to make sure that by the end of next year, 1,000 low-income educational centers, whether that be Title I schools, public housing, districts, and community centers, have access to reliable internet technology and are supported with an educational curriculum to learn about emerging technology. Over the past few months, my nonprofit organization, Girls Competing League, has grown from operating only in the D.C., Virginia, Maryland region to operating in 15 states across the United States. I'm committed to making sure that the future of technology has access to learn about the future of technology and that nobody is left behind when constructing the narrative of the change and social good that we are going to make using technology in the years to come.
Hi, I'm Kaylin. I'm Kelsey. And I'm Kristen, and we are the K3 Sisters Band from Dallas, Texas.
That's not what I'm here to do. They will not stop my debut. I will start anew. It'll be my time. It'll be my time to shine. I'm leaving it all behind. I found my new timeline.
Sometimes things can get a little tough. Inspiration is a little slim, and adversity just hit really hard. But one thing to know is that you're a lot stronger than you think. You've been through way too much, and you've come way too far to give up now. So keep pushing. We've got your back.
Hi, it's Crystal Dunn from the U.S. Women's National Team. If you're a young girl in today's world, continue to be brave, be confident, and stay inspired. Find yourself in those that inspire you. And don't be afraid to take on new challenges. Adversity is only going to make you stronger and help you achieve your dreams.
What an amazing story. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for being part of Girlhood It's Complicated. We've now moved over to the education section of the show. We know that much of girlhood is being schooled and what everyone else thinks it means to be a girl. But girls talk back and they tell us who they really are. I'm honored to be joined by curator Dr. Nancy Bercaw and she's here to tell us about the graduation dress made and worn by Minnijean Brown, one of the Little Rock Nine. Nancy, tell us about the significance behind this amazing object.
It was really important for us to start the education section of the show, which is nicknamed Being Schooled, with Minnijean Brown's graduation dress. I love this dress because Minnijean designed it for herself. She wanted to be as beautiful as possible on that important day when she graduated from high school. And one reason I find this dress so poignant is that it really speaks to her spirit, because her education was not that beautiful, really. Minnijean Brown was one of the Little Rock Nine who integrated Central High. And as you can see on this photo behind me, it took an entire army to protect her right to get an equal education. But what happened inside the school, the army wasn't with her inside the school, and the students really didn't see Minnijean Brown as being her true self. Instead, they bullied her, they kicked her, they hit her, and really, because of that, she realized and kind of drew on the spirit within herself that she was going to have to talk back. And because she stood up for herself, she got suspended and later expelled. And she ended up finishing her education far, far away from home, up in New York. So Minnijean Brown really speaks so much to what a lot of girls confront, and it also speaks to their spirit. So one thing that really impacts me about this graduation dress, not only that it's so lovely, but that all of those conditions that Minnijean Brown faced are really being faced by a lot of girls today. So we think that this is the past, but there's certain parts of the past that are still living in our present. So one thing that we find today is that many African American girls are still not treated really as being children in school. That African American girls are 6 times more likely to be suspended than white girls. And so what we find is that schools really aren't seeing the beautiful child that lies within them. And so this dress, in Minnijean's words and her actions, really remind me that when girls are facing all of these things, they do sometimes have those internal resources to really speak for themselves and express themselves so that people can see truly how beautiful they really are.
I'm honored to now turn it over to a very special guest, one of my sheroes, Minnijean Brown Trickey herself, for a shout out, for which we're so grateful.
The first thing I think about when talking about girls is one of my favorite expressions. Ordinary people can do extraordinary things. And let me tell you, there's a girl in me. And I know that we can do social change through photography and art and music and storytelling and dance, including maybe even demonstrations or marching, speaking out. But one thing I think is something I think is important is we need to ask the people around us to tell us stories about when they were girls and what they did to make change happen. I think we'd be surprised, and I think we could learn some new things. I am an elder now, and I have lots of information stored in my head, and I'm always willing to hang out and talk with and converse with girls. You know, you can make change. You'd be surprised. It's worth the effort.
Thank you so much, Minnijean, for your activism throughout your life and for joining us tonight. I'm so excited about our next friend who's joining us. Wait till you hear her story about being a girl.
What I think girls should know about overcoming adversity, first, is that adversity is inevitable. No matter who you are or what you're doing, you're gonna have bumps in the road. But the real magic is in how you overcome that, how you pick up the pieces and keep moving forward. You can't give up. You have to keep fighting. It's gonna be hard, but it's all about learning from that struggle, learning from that hard time, because on the other side of it, you're going to be stronger, you're going to be smarter, and the next time you face a bump in the road, you're going to have more knowledge about how to overcome it.
Ariana Tank Ball, and this is my poem, No Validation. You do not validate me. You do not validate me. You can't modify, minimize, you can't identify or box me. No awards or rewards concern me because you can't earn me. Ribbons yearn to be near me. Speeches won't deepen me. Likes won't hype me. I am the hype man. I am the high five. I got one nod from God and I ain't been the same since. I'm all this. I'm all that. I'm all this. I'm all that. I'm all this. And I'm all pretty and black. God made no copies of me. Facts. I'm made from clay, no way wax, no hair wraps, no finger snaps, like F your plans. I'm a poet. I discuss ideas, making policy amongst equals. You discuss Facebook woes and the opinions of people. I'm busy writing, creating, born regal. So no, you do not validate me. You can't modify or certify on Instagram. Damn sure can't verify. You can't minimize or break me. You can't make me because you did not create me. And furthermore, you can't take me away from me. I'm Tariana Ball, ma. I can't be bought. I can't be made. I'm self-paid. I'm made for this. I can't be swayed in this. I was built for it, shed for it. I can't be swayed in it. I keep creating, reimagining, deconstructing, re-examining, modifying. I keep going in this. I'm limitless. I'm made for this. I'm made for this. I pray for this. So I got this. Damn. I'm dope.
Hey y'all, it's Marsai Martin, and today I will be talking to you about one of the hardest things to do is to be a girl. The challenges I face just being a girl is, of course, people talking down on you, people thinking that you're not strong enough or you're not confident enough, and just people already blocking your passions before they really get to know you. And of course, in being in a white male-dominated industry, people already judge you before even talking to them, seeing you on TV or anything, or just really seeing what you have in store. And it's tough. It's really tough, especially just still being a young black girl as well. It's tough because a lot of people really just want to see what they've been seeing for the past years. It's very tough, especially being a producer, being a young black girl producer, and it took a lot to even just get to the point of speaking my mind and being passionate and being confident in what I'm doing, because I already thought people would shut me out before I even started speaking. And I feel like the more I grow up, then the more I see inspirations like my mom and like Beyonce and Rihanna and Viola Davis and just everyone like that I inspire to be like. A lot of people don't like change, and it's time for a change. It's time to change the narrative. I realize in myself that we all have to stand up for ourselves because no one is going to stand up for us. And we're just the baddest, you know? I feel like because we have all of these obstacles that we have to push for just to be ourselves and just to be seen, that's what makes us more powerful. That's what makes us more strong. And we're just cool. We're just really cool. We love to spread positivity. I feel like just growing up as one and seeing all the amazing people around me, even like my mom, my grandma, my aunties, everyone. It's been pretty cool, and it's been very inspiring, and I feel like I have to like praise them and like literally be like this to them, because those are the people that made me who I am today.
We're now in the work segment of the exhibition. Girls have never shied away from work, which often meant that they didn't have a girlhood. We're now back with curator Mireya Loza. Dr. Loza, what can you tell us about the significance of examining this topic as it relates to girlhood?
When I was first working on this section, I was struck by the fact that across American history, regardless of time period, we could find girls working in several industries. We could find them in factories. We could find them in homes. We could find them in the fields. One thing that really surprised me is that in the present day, we can still find children working in the fields. and girls are undoubtedly among these children. I set out to learn a little bit more about girls' work in our fields, and I met Monica Camacho. She donated this hoodie, the hat, bandanas. These are all things that protected her from the sun and the pesticides. This reminds us of how important girls have been to the American workforce.
Hello, this is Dolores Huerta, President of the Dolores Huerta Foundation for Grassroots Community Organizing, and I want to thank the museum for inviting me to join with you today in this wonderful, wonderful event that you're having of girls' stories. Stories that are going to bring so much enlightenment and knowledge, stories about culture, stories about our families and what they have gone through. So much to tell, so much to share. And this will enrich each and every one of us as we hear these stories. And I hope that you will share the stories that you hear with all of your friends and help them enrich their lives also. Because we know that the more that we learn, the more that we grow. And the stories we hear today are going to be about fashion, which we all love, about culture, about politics, about civic engagement, why people need to vote, how to keep our democracy strong, and all of these wonderful things that girls need to know because we are such an important part of society. So, have a great event. Thank you very much for having me. Si se puede with girls, which means yes, we can. Thank you.
Next up, a video message from a very special guest, Beanie Feldstein, followed by an incredible performance that I know will make you want to get up and move.
So right now, I am in quarantine with my parents in my childhood bedroom, and I've spent many months thinking about what it means to be a woman, what my journey has been, and now being back in the room that I crafted as a girl and as a teenager. It's really moving and overwhelming to be back in the sight of my girlhood. And I think what it means to be a girl or a woman in America today, often it can be very scary. I'll speak for myself and say that things are scary and things are overwhelming and anxiety producing. But the thing that gives me hope, the thing that gives me goosebumps and sends a chill up my spine is the remarkable, inspirational, just ridiculously gifted, warm, invested, intelligent, remarkable girls and women that I have had the pleasure of witnessing from afar or getting to hold close. And I think in the face of all the fear, there is also so much sisterhood and so much strength in that. And I think that the leaders of our world have so much to learn from young women in particular, because right now I feel that everyone's shaking and sounding out a battle cry to say we're not going to take this anymore, and we're not going to be treated like this anymore. And it is so ridiculously inspirational and makes me want to weep. Girlhood is the most delicious, complicated, juicy, warm, funny, heart-wrenching, heartbreaking joy of being on this planet. For me, I think so much of my storytelling has been centered around what girlhood is and what it means, and it has been truly the greatest joy of my life. So
yo, what up, you guys? It's your girl Taylor Park singing some songs from my album We Need to Talk. I never liked when people told me no, I wanna run, they rather slow me down. I was a kid, but I was wise enough to know I shouldn't follow every crowd. And soon I'll be counting my grace, spending my time like I spend my money. Yeah, making it count like I count my money. Loving the ones that's been loving on me. 'Cause it turns out tomboys have feelings too. Yeah, turns out tomboys have feelings too. And I have them for you. Yeah. I like slow dancing. I've never been so frustrated with calling someone baby. Guess you could say I'm unusual. Falling in love with me was unlikely, not low key, but high key. I spill my heart all over this floor. If I admit you got me scribbling with baby P, I blush when you cross in my mind. Though this might be hard to hear when it's coming from me. It's not easy to be a typical girl. I like diamonds, I like pearls. Yes, I'm a typical girl, making love around the world. I like slow dancing. I like romancing. I like dumping. But I think I'm a typical girl. When I was 7 years old, I said that I would never get married. My cacti are the only bouquet I could ever carry. And I'm too old to hold my daddy's hand, don't you think? But I'm health conscious, he carries on my ring. If I admit you got me scribbled in with baby P, I blush when you're crossing my mind. No, when it's coming from me, yeah, a typical girl. I like diamonds, I like pearls. Guess I'm a typical girl, making love around the world. I like slow dancing. I like romancing. I like dumping. But I think I'm a typical girl. I think I'm a typical girl. Ooh, yeah. Guess I'm a typical girl. Ooh. Thank you guys for tuning in.
What's up, y'all? How you doing? I'm Madam Gandhi, and I'm so happy that we're here together celebrating girlhood. You know, in the face of adversity, something that I always tell myself is to optimize for my own joy, to kind of shut out the noise of distraction and of things that tell us that we're not worthy, and focus on the things that make us happy. For me, it means like turning off my phone and just like starting to sing and singing ideas and lyrics. It might also mean going for a walk or a run. It might also mean connecting with a friend, either in person safely or over FaceTime or something like that. I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned in life is that it's really hard to like make that first step when we're feeling depressed or when we're feeling upset or when we're feeling like we're excluded or we're not good enough or we're not the best versions of ourselves. But every time I take that first step to be like, all right, this doesn't feel good right now, but I'm going to try to go for a run. I'm going to try to write a song. I'm going to try to play the drums. Just that first step instantly shifts the energy. And whenever we remember that we are in control of how we feel, we do have the power to make ourselves feel better, everything does change for the good. And we end up giving to ourselves and refilling our cup so that we always have something to give to somebody else. So that's my message as we celebrate girlhood today. And it means a lot to hold space with you all. So stay in touch. I'm Madam Gandhi, and I'm sending big love to all the folks at the Smithsonian. Cheers.
Well, how much fun was that? It wouldn't be a night out with a little dancing thrown into the mix. Speaking of movement, join me next as we welcome Dr. Kathleen Franz and go over to the Body Talk section of our Girlhood exhibition. Historically, Americans have given girls a lot of advice about what they can and they can't do and how they can and can't look. But since the 19th century, girls have pushed the boundaries of what was acceptable and most notably advocated for more physical freedom, dress reform, and access to sports. Kathleen's around the corner with an amazing gym suit from 1850.
This is athletic wear, believe it or not, circa about 1850. So this was worn by a young woman who was part of a health movement and dress reform movement in that period between about 1855 and 1865, so the Civil War era. This looks like a lot of clothing, but it really wasn't for that period in American history. This was freedom. There was no corset under here. You could go out and take a walk in the woods. You could jump rope. You could basically do exercise, even with all the constraints of this costume. People were very critical of this for girls and young women because it showed some leg at the bottom. It's good to know where you start here with athletic wear. Now let's walk around and take a look at some more recent examples. Fast forward to the 1970s and 1980s, so about 100 years difference. And here's athletic wear for girls. We have objects from two vert skaters, Judy Oyama and Cindy Whitehead. Now, what do these have in common with the 1850s bloomer suit? They show us that girls have long been defying expectations. They've really forged new paths in once male-dominated sports, like skating. So here we have Cindy Whitehead's uniform. These were made for boys because that was all that was available on the market, and she had to take in the waist. We also have a trophy that Judy Oyama won, and what's at the top? A boy. So we really see them not just defying expectations, but really making a new path. And girls have long done that with sports.
Thank you, Kathy. With that, I'm going to now throw things over to a few more special guests for their messages for us tonight.
Hi, Billie Jean King here. I just want to say hi to the friends of the Smithsonian. And as young girls or women, believe in yourself and challenge the system. It's okay to be different. Embrace it. Be curious. Ask questions. Keep learning. Find a sport you might love as it teaches you to trust your body. Use your imagination. It is powerful. And the more you know about history, the more you know about yourself. And then most importantly, it helps you shape the future. Dream big, believe in yourself, and go for it.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to The Girlhood is Complicated
virtual opening event. I am so excited to be here with all of you. I'm Cindy Whitehead, and I was a pro skateboarder in the 1970s. Back then, skate parks were everywhere up and down California, and backyard pools were plentiful, as were makeshift ramps. Boys were charging hard at all of these places, but a little known fact is that there was a handful of girls doing exactly the same thing. The magazine showed the boys, the girls were virtually unseen most of the time, but we knew that other girls were out there. We'd hear rumors, sometimes if we were lucky we'd see a picture of another girl. We'd go to contests and events, and usually we'd compete against the guys and might be the only girl there as well. Eventually, we got smart and we started lobbying those contest organizers for female events. When that started happening, girls started traveling up and down the coast to come compete. We'd meet girls that we only heard about for the very first time, and we formed a sisterhood of sorts. And it was an unspoken thing that we learned to speak out, tell our stories, lobby for more things for girls, and to be seen and heard. We wore the boys' clothes because there wasn't anything made for us back then. There wasn't a market for it. There weren't enough of us. But we nipped it, we tucked it, we made it fit, and we made it our own. We created a style with our clothing and our way of skating, and we earned respect from the boys. Fast forward to 2020, and girls are skateboarding at skate parks all over the world, more so than ever. And I've created a movement called Girl is Not a Four-Letter Word that helps shine a light on those girls and helps support them and give them the confidence and encouragement that we gave each other back then. The sisterhood lives on in a bigger and better way now. But it couldn't have happened without that handful of group of girls that charged hard back in the day, starting it all. I hope you enjoy the exhibit, and thanks for being here.
Hi, my name is Judy Oyama, and I have been skateboarding for over 45 years. This is my first skateboard deck. I still have it, and I never thought I would still be skateboarding, but I enjoy it as much as I did when I first started. I started skateboarding at the age of 13, and 3 years later, I was sponsored by Santa Cruz Skateboards and Independent Trucks. And I've never looked back and I've never stopped. And I didn't think I would be skateboarding still at my age. All I can say is never stop, enjoy it, make friends, share stories, and encourage each other. Keep skating. The black flyaway helmet that is in the Smithsonian collection under the Girlhood exhibition, I rode in downhill at the Capitola Classic, and I also rode in parks at Winchester Skate Park and any other park I could get to. And it was one of my favorite helmets, and so I'm happy that it's somewhere that people can see it. The other prized item that I donated was my skateboard trophy from the Berkeley skateboard race, which was in the middle of campus, and it was really fun. I hope others will enjoy the exhibition, one day get to see it in person when all this COVID thing's over with. Thanks.
Thank you. What a wonderful contribution to the evening. We're so honored that you joined us. Wait till you see this next performance that shows us the artistry behind Girlhood.
Hey everyone, my name is Isabel De Leon. I'm a drummer based out of the DMV. I'm so excited to be part of the opening festivities for Girlhood at the Smithsonian. As a young girl, I was told I couldn't be good at drums simply because I was a girl. More than 20 years later, I'm here to tell you that you can determine your own success and what it is that you want to do. If someone told you you can't do something because you're a girl, prove them wrong. Today I'm going to perform one of my original songs that I wrote for my band Isaflow, and in fact you can hear the song as part of the Girlhood exhibit at the Smithsonian. I hope you enjoy.
Welcome back. I'm now here in the last segment of the exhibition, Fashion Remix. As we all know, clothing can say who you are, and what you're all about. Fashion can push the boundaries of what it means to be a girl. It can rework the rules and remake identity, and even signal support for an important cause. For our next segment, we're joined by curator Dr. Sam Vong, and he's here to tell us a little bit more about a very special prom dress. We've collected this prom dress. It was worn by Bella Akuli Cornell, a Choctaw activist, and donated by her especially for this show. Sam, can you please tell us just a little bit more about this remarkable dress?
Thank you, Anthea. Hello, my name is Sam Vong. I'm curator of Asian Pacific American history. I'm standing next to this beautiful dress that I helped to collect for the exhibition. This dress was donated by Isabella Ayukli Cornell, who is a citizen of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. Bella wore this dress to her prom in 2018 to signal her support of the missing and murdered Indigenous women's movement, which is a movement she has been part of since she was a teenager. Bella is also a member of the community-based organization in Oklahoma called Matriarch, which is an organization made up of Native women and girls to create a safe space for Native women experiencing violence. So Bella worked with another Native American designer in Montana to create this dress. She specifically chose the color red because red represents the missing and murdered Indigenous women's movement. And Bella also asked the designer to incorporate specific Choctaw symbols, such as this diamond shape on the bodice, which represents Choctaw agriculture. By wearing this dress to prom, Bella hoped to raise awareness about the ongoing epidemic of violence perpetrated against Native women and girls. So this dress is important to the exhibit because it shows how girls have used fashion to communicate powerful political messages and to support important social justice issues.
Thank you, Sam. I'm now going to send you over to our final round of shout outs this evening from some very, very special voices.
Hey guys, I'm Momona Tamada and I'm here to tell you, a little bit about my childhood, growing up as a girl and just girlhood. Okay, so we're going back to probably when I was in preschool. I was extremely shy and timid, and I had a hard time stepping foot in preschool. I'd cry every single time because, I just didn't want to be there. I just wanted to hide behind my mom. And eventually I did make some friends that I still hid behind at Christmas concerts because I didn't really want my face to be seen in front of people. And like I said, I was very shy. Eventually, I kind of broke out of my shell a little bit, and I think a lot of that is from my dancing, and I never realized it, I guess, back then when I started dancing, but I realize it a lot more now how much it's really impacted my life and helped me kind of find my personality and, like I said, break out of my shell, because on stage I was so sassy. I did duck faces the whole time. Anyway, but I was just a completely different person on stage, and even in real life I was still, a little bit more closed off than other people were, but it really helped me. It was a start to finding, I guess, my personality and becoming kind of the fun, goofy self that I am now. And a lot of that has helped me, kind of transition into acting. I'm so grateful to be a part of a show that really emphasizes girl power and how, important it is, and especially for young girls who, relate to a lot of the same topics. And I think all the girls have such a different and unique personality to them, and that's what I love, is that you don't have to be perfect. And I think as a girl you feel pressured sometimes to look a certain way, to dress a certain way and act a certain way, but that is nothing that you should follow, because you are your own self. And I can't remember if I already said this, but I'm just so grateful to be, given this platform to, use my voice to show others that they have one too, and it's important to use it because never in a million years, being the shy girl that I was, I ever thought that I'd be here, being seen by so many people and even being, I guess, kind of recognized, even to be considered a role model is insane. So be you and, be yourself. And yeah, thank you for listening. Bye.
Hi Smithsonian and girls everywhere. We are Tegan and Sara, and we're going to read to you from our memoir about our time in high school. That's right. The book is called High School. It is our first memoir, and we're very excited to read to you. We never even read to each other, so I'm looking at it like we're not even reading to you, we're reading to each other. So Sara, why don't you start? This is the prologue from our memoir. I have no visual memory of Tegan before we were 4 years old. There is proof of her existence, scores of photographs of us posed together on couches, sitting on laps, or standing side by side in our cribs. But the snapshots in my mind contain no trace of her. What I can summon is the feeling of her, as if she existed everywhere and in everything. In preschool, a lump was found in her left arm that required surgery. We were separated for the first time since birth. On the first day of her hospital stay, I was left in the care of another woman with a set of twins, the same age as Tegan and me. While her children played together, I sat on the floor of their bedroom, stunned by my sister's absence. On the second day, I lay on our grandmother's living room couch with a fever. Opposite me, I registered the empty space. Without Tegan, I had become me, and it was awful. Excellent reading, Sara. We've decided I'm also going to read my prologue, because not to be outdone by Sara, I wrote my own for the book. This doesn't tell you a lot about what the book is about. The book is actually about us being teenagers, being adolescents, finding our voice, discovering our sexuality, figuring out that we can play music, but we don't want to ruin that. Buy the book. When we were 3 years old, Sara suffered from a bout of night terrors. I have a vivid memory during this time of her flat out on her back in the hallway outside her bedroom, her pajamaed limbs flailing, and my parents on either side of her trying to calm her down. In the memory, I'm reassured by my mom and dad that Sara's okay. Everything is fine, but I am left uneasy, unsettled. When I shared this memory years later, my mom and dad were quick to correct me. It was me who suffered from the terrible dreams all those years ago, and Sara who watched from her bedroom at the end of the hall. I have it backward, they insist. I wonder frequently how many of the memories I carry of Sara are actually my own. How much of my early life have I confused with hers? Our tangled nature makes even me feel interchangeable with Sara, indistinguishable, bound, and suffocated. There's often a violent urge in me to tear those early memories of us apart, even if in just my own head. But I admit there is also great comfort that comes from traveling through life with a witness, an identical twin to corroborate your version of things. Thank you so much for letting us read to you. Goodbye, Smithsonian. Goodbye, girls everywhere. We're Tegan and Sara.
When facing adversity, I hope that girls today know to stay confident. It's the most important thing to tackle every situation, because when you know who you are and when you're expressing yourself authentically and you're confident in your identity, you are unstoppable and you could overcome any challenge. So definitely look within and find that peace within yourself, saying that I do love myself, I am confident being me, and I'm ready to push forwards no matter what life throws my way.
Hi Smithsonian, I'm Nicole Atkins and this is Captain. Down by Shark River, you are not the swimmer that you used to be.
I can be your captain for once. So come on back to my arms. And if we have to burn the sails, there is no shame to let it fail.
We so appreciate your tuning in tonight to our virtual celebration. As we mark the centennial of the 19th Amendment, we wanted to look at the history of American girls. From the Revolutionary War to today, we see that girls have taken risks. Even without a vote, they use their voices to make change. Here at the Smithsonian Institution, we encourage all our visitors and guests to convene, observe, and exchange thoughts on our wide variety of content. At your National Museum of American History, we feel it is especially important to showcase all facets of history, good and bad, painful and beautiful. We hope that by joining us this evening, you too have been able to learn and experience content that is meaningful and important. I would also like to extend a special thank you to all of our participants, our shout-outs, our performers, our speakers, for helping us create such a special virtual event. It is also very important to acknowledge our donors and partners who have supported the exhibition since its inception. With special thanks to Jean Case and David M. Rubenstein, co-chairs of the Smithsonian Institution's American Women's History Initiative. This initiative, because of her story, amplifies a diversity of women's voices using digital assets and technology, not just in one gallery or one museum, but throughout the Smithsonian's many museums, research centers, and cultural heritage affiliates. And wherever people are online, we reach millions of people here in Washington and across the nation and around the globe. Additionally, we'd like to thank the Smithsonian Institution's Traveling Exhibition Services, who are coordinating the nationwide tour of Girlhood is Complicated, beginning in March of 2023. I'd like to extend a special debt of gratitude to all of the donors and the very large team behind this exhibition, including artist Crystal Quills, who created the beautiful images you've seen throughout this evening. Until you're able to join us here in Washington, I encourage you to visit our website for all things Girlhood related. Thank you again for being part of this special evening with us.